For most of his life, Portgas D Ace carried a question that haunted him, a question so heavy it shaped every decision he ever made. Should I have been born? Ace was the son of the most feared pirate in history, Gol D. Roger. To the world, Roger was the Pirate King, a legend, but to Ace, that name was a curse. Because Roger didn't just leave behind a legacy, he left behind a child the world wished had never existed. From the moment Ace was born, the world government wanted him dead. Not for anything he had done, not for any crime he committed, but simply for who his father was. Ace grew up believing something terrible about himself, that his existence was a mistake, that the blood in his veins made him evil. And when a child grows up hearing that message over and over, eventually they start to believe it. As Ace grew older, he became obsessed with one idea. He wanted proof that his life meant something, not to the world, but to someone. He wanted someone to tell him that he deserved to exist, but instead he only found loneliness. Even when he was surrounded by people, Ace felt isolated, because the moment they learned the truth about his father, everything changed. Their fear, their judgment, their hatred. To them, Ace wasn't a person, he was the son of a monster. And slowly, that belief began to poison Ace's heart. He became reckless, hot-headed, dangerously proud, not because he wanted to destroy the world, but because he was trying to prove that he had a place in it. There was one person who never looked at Ace with fear, one person who didn't care about bloodlines or reputation. That person was his little brother, Monkey D. Luffy. Luffy never cared that Ace was Roger's son. He never questioned whether Ace deserved to live. To Luffy, Ace was simply his brother, someone worth protecting, someone worth fighting for. And for a while, that was enough. But deep inside, Ace still carried the same painful question. Was he truly meant to exist, or was he just living in the shadow of a terrible legacy? Everything changed the day Ace met Edward Newgate. The world knew him as Whitebeard, one of the strongest pirates alive, a legend who ruled the seas. But Whitebeard saw something in Ace that no one else had ever recognized: pain, loneliness, a child searching for belonging. Instead of fearing Ace's bloodline, Whitebeard did something unexpected. He welcomed him, not as a weapon, not as a pawn, but as family. For the first time in his life, Ace heard the words he had been searching for. "You are my son." And suddenly, the question that haunted Ace his entire life began to fade, because someone finally gave him the answer. Ace deserved to live. Ace didn't just join the Whitebeard Pirates, he found a home, a crew that treated him like a brother, a captain who treated him like a son. For the first time since he was born, Ace felt loved. But that love also became his greatest weakness, because when someone spends their whole life searching for love, they will do anything to protect it, even if it costs them everything. When Marshal D. Teach betrayed the Whitebeard Pirates, Ace couldn't let it go. Teach had murdered a crewmate, a brother. To Ace, this wasn't just betrayal, it was an attack on the only family he had ever known. So Ace chased him, even when Whitebeard warned him not to, even when the odds were impossible, because Ace believed something deeply. A son protects his father's honor, and a brother avenges his family. But that decision would eventually lead him into the hands of the world government. Captured, imprisoned, sentenced to death. The world prepared for a public execution, not just to kill Ace, but to erase the bloodline of the Pirate King forever. What happened next shocked the entire world. The Battle of Marineford began. Pirates, Marines, admirals, legends, all clashed in one of the greatest wars the sea had ever seen. And at the center of it all was Ace. But something incredible happened during that war. Ace finally saw the truth. Whitebeard didn't come to save him because of Roger. He came because Ace was his son. The Whitebeard Pirates didn't risk their lives because of Ace's strength. They did it because they were their brother. And when Luffy fought through the battlefield to reach him, Ace realized something he had never truly understood before. His life mattered. Not because of who his father was, but because of who he was to the people who loved him. In the end, Ace finally received the answer he had been searching for. Yes, he deserved to be born. Yes, his life had meaning. Yes, he was loved. And in his final moments, Ace smiled, because the boy who once believed he shouldn't exist finally knew the truth. He had been loved all along. The tragedy of Portgas D. Ace isn't just how his story ended, it's how long he spent believing he didn't deserve happiness. But his story also teaches something powerful. Sometimes the people who act the strongest are the ones who need love the most. Ace wasn't chasing glory, he wasn't chasing power, he was chasing proof that his life mattered. And in the end, he found it. Not in his bloodline, not in his strength, but in the people who were willing to fight the world for him.